Max Cady was released from prison.
What does that have to do with us?
He's been locked up 17 years for a murder he didn't do.
You were his lawyer, right?
I think this masquerade is more related to the fact of manipulating the information, manipulating the what is true and what is not, what is hiding, what is. It's more psychological than physical, and he's using everything that has to do with invasion, technically, digitally, in order to create a chaos, a sense of insecurity for the family. I think that's one of the new takes on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the nature of parenting has changed so much given a digital life that our children have, that I think sometimes we feel that we're on top of, but they have this whole world of autonomy that's open to them that's really hard to keep track of. And I think, it creates opportunity for predators, wrongdoers, ill intenders to get to our children, and it feels harder and harder to protect them. And that, I think Max does a great job at playing into that, and this show does a great job of playing into that fear from parents of not only outside sources, but sources which have no physical, you can't find them, they just exist in your child's reality. It's terrifying.
I think I was just generally excited to be with a character for an extended period of time. 8 months was just it was such a treat to be able to live with her within that time. And I think what's so fun is that I kind of, with Natalie, get to kind of build her up into her own person and her own world and strip away her naivety and her youthfulness, and instead I got to build her courage and her bravery, and the angst of a teenage girl is unlike anything in the world, and it was really fun to go from happy-go-lucky to upset with secrecy. I'm trying to not spoil.
And yeah, I think for me it was pretty intense being with Zach for that long of a time. I think, to be honest, because he's just very dark, and his story is very intense, and it was really. But what was really incredible was taking the time and effort and thought to really make sure that he had a full and completed and solid arc, because he starts at such a low point at the beginning of the show that the second I read the first episode, I was like, wait, so how am I supposed to do that? And then we got to get all the way to episode 10, and he's, hitting himself in the face in episode 1. So how am I gonna do this? So it took a lot of thought and a lot of time to just try and figure out what would be a believable journey for Zach within the world that we were in for 8 months. I think that was a privilege to me, to be able to really discover him and keep my finger on the pulse and make sure that he felt like a living, breathing person, and not just someone that was there to freak everyone out or be really angsty for 10 episodes and not have any light or shade. I mean, it gives them all the more to lose, right? All these characters getting built up, and you start to learn who they are and feel for them or hate them, or however you interpret them, and it just means that there's just more to come crashing down near the end of the show.
And nothing is black and white in it, which is really fun. It's even things that you think the only black and white thing was that he was wrongfully accused and now he's out. and everything around that trial is now coming back to the surface, and with time and like pushing things away from that era, and then our parents seeing them kind of see through that moment and period of time in their life. It definitely, playing their daughter, makes you realize that moment when you realize your parents are humans too and flawed, and just how flawed is the question for Natalie.
Yeah, and the black and white thing's really interesting. That is the only black and white thing, is that Max gets let out of prison after 17 years, and that is like the only black and white thing about the whole show. The rest of it is just like the terror of what it's like to live in the grey, you know?